Hello, pattern lovers. You're welcome and welcome back. It's yet another exciting tutorial, and in today's video, we'll be drafting this gorgeous outer band backless fit and flared dress with an open chest. The under bust is contoured and it has a basque waistline. So if you're interested in that, definitely watch this video to the end and let's get to it. I'll be drafting the front pattern first and I already have a shoulder line. Now from this shoulder line, I'll be going down first to the bust point line, then to the under bust line, then to the waistline and then down to the hip line. Once I'm done marking it, I'm going to use my ruler to mark them out this way and label them bust point line, under bust line, waistline and then the hip line. Now, I'll come back to the shoulder line and mark the shoulder measurement divided by 2. Then I'll go down to the chest line and mark the shoulder measurement divided by 2 again on that point, just so I have a straight line. Then I'm going to use my ruler to mark it out this way. And now we have the chest line. On the shoulder line, I'm going to mark my high neck width, which is 3 inches. Your standard neck width is what you're marking here. Then I'm doing a shoulder slope of 1.5 and I'll connect it to the neck width. I'm going to measure what I have left here, and once I have it, I'm going to mark the midpoint and go in there to 1/2 inch, then take my bust measurement divided by 4 on the chest line and use that as a guide to cover the armhole. We'll be needing the armhole later. Next, I'm going to mark the bust span and I'm going to mark that on the bust point line and also on the hip line. And once I have it, that's your nipple to nipple divided by 2. Yeah, I'm going to use my straight ruler to connect it like this. Then for the dart intake, I'll be doing 0.75 on both sides of this bust span line. And once I have it, I'm going to use my ruler to just extend it upwards like this on both sides and downward like this on both sides. Next, I'm going to take the waist measurement divided by 4 plus the dart intake. I'll replace it. Then go down to the hip line and take the hip measurement divided by 4. There's no dart intake. So I'm just going to connect the measurements like this. And now we have the side seam line. The next thing I will do now is to measure my under bust measurement divided by 4. And once I have it, I'm going to measure what I have left and share it equally on both sides of these two lines here. That's like the dart legs already existing there. So I have 1 inch to share on both sides and I'm doing that on the already existing dart legs. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to take it all the way to the bust point on both sides and extend the dart legs to the waist line. Or better still, whatever that intake you have on the waistline, just take it all the way to the under bust. I'll come down here to 1.5, which is my bust dart value. That's the difference between my front length and the back length. The next thing I will do now is to go ahead and start from the shoulder line and come down to my neck depth. And once I have it, I'm going to just roll it out this way. And yeah, that will be the neck depth. Then I'm going to take it from this bust band all the way to my neck width. And it's like this. Next, I'm going to start from this line now and go out to 1.25. Okay, 1.25 from that line. And I'm going to clean up this one because we no longer need that. Then I'm going to just take it from this 1.25 to my neck width. That's my standard neck width and it's looking like this. Now I'm going to come down here to 1/2 inch from the chest line here, then start here from this neck width and go in 1.5. Make sure you have your 1.5 there, and I'm going to mark that until I get to the neck depth, this line here, and then I'll stop there. Then use my curve to just connect this 1.5 on until I get to the shoulder line and it's looking like this. Then I'm going to take it from that point to the 1/2 inch I have from the chest line down, and this is what it's looking like. We're going to complete the other curve later after closing the bust dart, but for now, if you measure this neck width and you feel like it's going to be too wide, the best way to do it is once you measure it like this, place it on the mid of your chest, and if it appears wide, then you will need to do some tightening, and I'm doing 1/2 inch here. Okay, so this is 1/2 inch. If you need to take out about 0.75, go ahead and do it so that your neckline will not gape. And once you're done taking the tightening darts, go ahead and through them to make sure that they are equal. Now I'm going to come down here from the waistline to 1.5. You can do 2 inches, but between 1.5 to 2 inches is fine. Then for the basque effect, you just go up from your hip line to 2 inches. 2 inches above your hip line. That will be the basque length. And then I'm going to just connect it from that point to the 1.5 I have on the side, and it's looking like this. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to throw these dark legs. You either make the side one to be just as long as the center one, or you make the center one to be just the same length with the side one, which is what I'm doing here. Making sure that the center dark legs is the same with what I have as the side that leg. Do you understand? Whichever way you do it, but you just need to through it, or better still close the dots and mark your V Basque line. Do you understand? Now for the back, I'm going to measure from the shoulder to this new chest line, and I'm marking that here now as the chest line too for the back, because that's where we'll be taking the bust measurement on this back pattern. Yeah. Once that is done, I'm going to measure from the shoulder again down to the waistline, which is going to be 1.5 shorter than what I used on the front pattern, and the hip line too, which will be 1.5 shorter than what I used on the front pattern. Then I'm going to contour the center back with 0.75, because I won't be adding that to this back pattern. Okay, so I'm doing a whole 0.75. Then I'm going to start from this new contour line and take the bust measurement divided by 4. Then on the waistline, the waist measurement divided by 4. And on the hip line, the hip measurement divided by 4, and connect them just like this. Next, I'm also going to come down here from the waistline to 1.5, which is the same thing I use on the front here. And measuring from the shoulder to that point, I have about 17 inches, and I'm going to make sure I have the same 17 inches on this center back here. Once that is done, I'm going to connect it just like this. The next thing I will do now is to come down here to my desired neck depth, and I'm using 10.5. Then I'm going to just make sure I have it on this center back contour line, just so I make sure that I have my 10.5. And once I'm sure of that, I'm going to place my curve like this and connect it to the side seam. And yeah, this is what the back neckline is looking like. Then I'm going to take out about 0.25 here, because it's looking too pointy and it's not going to like blend in well to the side seam of the front. Then I'll follow the center back contour line and add my zipper allowance of 1 inch from the neckline there all the way to the back length, and connect it, and this is what it's looking like afterwards. And of course, you are pretty much done with the pattern. I'm going to separate the two patterns this way and go ahead and cut out the back pattern, just as you can see me do it here. So for this kind of pattern that the neckline and the length is almost looking the same, what I do after cutting it out, immediately after cutting it out, is to notch the top part, that's like the neckline and the center back. Then to cut the front pattern, I'm going to open it up, or the waist darts all the way to the bust point, then close the bust dart, just as you can see me do it here. Fold the bust dart and place it on the bust point line. Then I will apply my water glue in between the space and place it back on the bust point line. Okay, once I'm done with that, I'm going to blend in the side seam line like this. Then start here and go down to 2 inches. So what I'm going to do with these 2 inches is to just blend it into the 1.5 I have on the neck depth line. Do you understand? The band, the outer band we are creating, you blend it in from the 2 inches you have on the side seam to the 1.5 we have on the bust, yeah, the neck depth line. Do you understand that? So after covering it out the first time, I wasn't feeling it, so I had to just blend it in to look just as smooth as you can see it here. And of course, I'm going to cut out the rest of the pattern, just as you can see me do it here. Then for the outer band, you're going to just make the top part as straight as possible, so that it will be easy for you to join your fabric to it or add a paper to it to make it as long as you want it. So I followed my shoulder slope to make it straight. And then after cutting out the pattern, this is what they are looking like. So we have the neckline, they are lining, and this band, yeah, it comes out well. So to complete the outer band, what I'm going to do is to just measure what I have on this top part, which for my case is 1.5, then use that to cut out a straight piece of fabric or paper in this case, yeah. And then after that, I'm going to just use my water glue to join them together. Just join it to just look as straight as possible, a smooth consistency there. And then of course you trim out any unnecessary parts, and this is what the pattern is looking like. So yeah, if we follow this simple step, it's going to come out well. Then the next thing we should be talking about is the basque effect, or the gathers. So you're going to measure your waistline here. You either measure this one or you measure the back one. Then I have 9 inches here, which is 18. The back is also going to be 18, which is 36 inches here. So you're going to divide times it by 2 or 2.5 or 3. If you even want it fuller, you can even do times 4. Do you understand? That's like 36 times 4 or 36 times 2 or 36 times 2.5, depending on how full you want it. But yeah, let's say this is your fabric here. You cut your 36 times 2.5 if you just want it as you have it on the thumbnail here. And then you fold it into 2 to get the midpoint, which serves as the center front. Then you fold again to get this side. That will be the side seam. So here now the center front and here the side seam, and then this part right here, the center back. Yeah, that's how you're going to cut your fabric. If you want to do your basque, how do I say it? But then for the basque effect, you're going to measure from the waistline to your basque length, and whatever it is you measure, then you're going to do have a fit here on the gathers fabric. Then you're going to blend it into the side seam. But if you're someone who likes to gather first before you fix to the base, you're going to gather your fabric. Make sure it's your waist measurement. It will go around your waist measurement here. Then you're going to just fold it into 2. Then use this top part to trace out the waistline. Yeah, whichever way you choose to do it, either that way or the way that I shared in this video, is going to come out so well. But yeah, for the length, you're going to measure from your shoulder to the side seam here now, and whatever length you have there, you're going to minus it from your whole gown length, and that will be the length for the gathers. Yeah, the gathers fabric. Do you understand that? You cut the center front on fold, the side front 2 of that, the outer band 2 of that, and then the back you're cutting 2 of that, and then you have the gathers fabric. But yeah, you go ahead, transfer all of this to your fabric, add the necessary allowance, and happy sewing. And with that, I'll be seeing you on my next one. Bye bye.